Killing spree.
What's up, YouTube? It's the real Super Mario, bringing you my Raw reaction video. I know this is super late, but well, you know, I did one Raw video. I didn't like it, so I re-recorded it. Did another one. So this Raw wasn't bad. It was actually pretty solid. It was you know, it started off with another lengthy authority segment, which was alright. I mean, I've begun to grow to accept these segments. It went on a little bit longer than it should have. They still mentioned Brian, which is awesome. They didn't bury him, you know, so he's still mentioned and they still talk about Brian and they crap on Brian and all that kind of stuff. But at least he's still mentioned in the show. So then we have, they start off with a pretty solid match. You have Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins. And of course Ziggler continues, you know, his downward spiral to jobberdom. He doesn't lose straight though. Actually, he doesn't lose this, but I guess you can technically call him a loss since he did go back and forth. And he was about to lose when Dean Ambrose jumped Seth Rollins. So, yeah, that's how that match ends. You know, Dean Ambrose. So they're pushing this Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins feud, which is interesting, you know, because now the Authority story again branches off into other things. You know, so now you have the Authority versus Daniel Bryan. You have the Authority versus, you have the, you know, Ambrose and Ambrose and Rollins story on one end. Then you have Reigns versus the Authority, and now they're putting Cena into the mix, I guess, to replace Daniel Bryan, because Cena comes out during the Authority segment, and they put him in the match with Kane, the stretcher match that was really supposed to be for Daniel Bryan. So yeah, that was all pretty interesting. That was really like the first 30-40 minutes of the show. Well, maybe not that much, but it was the first part of the show. They have the there's a couple backstage segments too. They actually include Vicky, which is weird because they never really included Brad Maddox, you know, in any of the backstage stuff. They just kind of, he popped up a few times a month, but they actually included Vicky, who I thought was leaving, but she's not. So they included her in the backstage stuff, and you know, she has this thing where she's kind of like the errand person for the Authority, and you know, she's getting them coffee and all this kind of stuff. And so of course, you know, Rollins, you know, Reigns is playing the whole, oh yeah, you know, you should be respected. You're a Guerrero. You know, you shouldn't have to get them coffee. And then he kind of like, oh well, if you're gonna kiss their ass, you should kiss it, you know, properly, and you should put sugar in that coffee. So she goes and she gets the sugar, and he spikes the coffee. There's a nice little funny nod to the Eddie Guerrero. You know, since, you know, Vicky is a Guerrero, but there was a segment in the old SmackDown days. It was Eddie versus Big Show, and Eddie Guerrero spikes Big Show's burritos with laxatives. You know, hilarious back then. So it's a nod to that. You know, Reigns spikes the coffee. Guerrero takes the coffee to the Authority. You know, Stephanie gets hers. Triple H, you know, turns around and bumps into Vicky and knocks the coffee all over her. He gets mad and makes her go get more coffee. So he doesn't get to drink the coffee. But so then he announces that Reigns and Ambrose are banned from the Battle Royal. You know, not because of the coffee thing. He doesn't really know that. But he announces that they are banned from the Battle Royal that he's making for one of the spots in the Money in the Bank match for the title. So that was pretty good. You know, which that was actually probably match of the night, which I want to get to in a minute. They have another interesting little note here. They have so another little thing in the Goldust Cody Rhodes story. They have Stardust. So Stardust is Goldust's new partner. It's Cody Rhodes. It's basically Cody with Goldust like paint and custom ring gear and a new song that actually sounds better than Goldust's song. All in all, pretty interesting. I was hoping this was just like a farce to a heel turn, but I mean the production quality is a bit high. I mean, because it's not just like face paint. It's face paint plus custom ring gear plus a song. So, yeah, I'm thinking he's probably going to ride with this for a while. And then he's going to turn on Goldust. And they might fight at SummerSlam. But it won't be anytime soon. So, I mean, I guess it's not bad. As long as eventually he does turn. Let's see. What else was there? Oh, okay. So that was, they had another Divas match. They had a little incident between Paige and, what's that chick's name? Cameron from the Funkadactyls. And of course, Funkadactyls, they're still using Brodus' theme, even though Brodus isn't there. But, yeah, she beat Cameron. She used her little Scorpion Deathlock turn submission thing, the PTO, which I have to say, even though it was hard to identify, I actually think the move was awesome. I haven't seen a Diva use a submission like that in a long time. Awesome. I can't wait for her and AJ to rematch whenever AJ comes back. But yes, awesome. I mean, well, the match was alright. It's your standard Diva match. 2-3 minutes long, but it was okay. Paige gets the win, goes on. Oh yeah, so then so of course they bring in Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt comes in and he does his theatrics. He talks about at least he gets to the point. He doesn't drag it on too much, but he does his theatrics. He does an awesome promo, cerebral as usual, and then Sheamus comes out and he's like, "We're gonna fight. No more talking. This is the fight." And it actually was a pretty good segue to the match, because I mean, you have like, the theatrics and the cerebral, slow nature of Bray Wyatt, and then Sheamus comes in there. It's like, no, screw that. We're gonna fight, and it just works out good for both of them, And it was a pretty good match. I don't know, Sheamus to me has been putting on some really good matches lately. Like, they put him in with Cesaro and it's good. They put him in with Barrett and it's good. They put him in with with Bray Wyatt and it's good. So, I mean, I like Sheamus. And they had a pretty good match. In the middle of the match, it looked like he was going to get jumped. And then, of course, the Usos come out and save him. Eventually, Sheamus gets jumped anyway. And it turns into like a little brawl, which is actually pretty cool. I mean, the Usos are kind of growing on me with all their high-flying antics, Even though they pop up to fight, the Wyatts at every point they can. But not bad. I like the Usos. That was a pretty good match. It ended with DQ after Sheamus got jumped. Then, okay. So then, they make, Dean Ambrose has to fight Wade Barrett because he attacked Seth Rollins. So him and Wade Barrett go for a pretty good match. I like Dean Ambrose. I was a little worried. I knew that, and I knew the Shield was 3 guys in the Shield. I was like, well, one of these guys probably isn't gonna make it. I thought it was either Seth Rollins or Dean Ambrose. Now, Rollins had a good heel turn. He's got some pretty good amount of heat, so I was thinking, well, hopefully Ambrose doesn't get lost in the shuffle. But I really thought that they were gonna go with a feud between Rollins and Reigns, but it seems like they're going a slightly different route. So now Ambrose won't get lost in the shuffle. I'm liking that. And he's tweaked his character a little bit, so he's crazy, but he's a crazy face, which also works. You know, can't wait to see what his ring gear and his intro, because it looks like the Shield is officially done. You know, I mean, even though Reigns is still using the Shield gear and theme song, I think Ambrose has a different song. We don't know if he has different gear because he was in his street gear for the match. But yeah, so that was a pretty good match. It ends in a count out because Rollins comes in and attacks Dean Ambrose, and they fight out into the crowd. And basically, you know, Ambrose gets counted out before he can come back. So he hits the dirty deeds on Wade Barrett just to end it out. But I like the way it ended because Wade Barrett didn't get pinned. He's been on a roll lately. He didn't lose. Ambrose didn't lose. It wasn't some wonky finish where he gets screwed or something. So it's all good. Then we get to probably what is the match of the night. The Battle Royal for the spot in the Money in the Bank. Battle Royal was awesome. Alright, like the pacing was perfect. It wasn't too slow. It wasn't too quick. It was a perfect pace. I mean, people actually got to shine. Like Rusev, Reigns, Ryback, and Axel actually got to shine. They actually eliminated a bunch of people. They actually worked together and eliminated some more people. You know, eventually they both get eliminated by Roman Reigns, but the fact is they got to shine. I don't know why they haven't been tag team champions yet, you know, but it just seems like the curse of heel tag teams will never become tag team champions. But yeah, so I have to say that was the match of the night. You know, we actually had a glimpse of an interesting future feud, and that's Rusev and Roman Reigns. They were the last two members. Awesome. You know, the little fight between them two was awesome. That's gonna be a pay-per-view seller, or ticket seller in the future. Reigns wins. He goes on and gets a spot in Money in the Bank for the title. Then we get to the main event. Main event is a match we've seen before. Cena and Kane in a stretcher match. First stretcher match on Raw in a decade. So that's already kind of a draw. Not a bad match. About 17-18 minutes. So it's not really bad for a Raw main event match. It pretty back and forth. You know, Cena does another one of those I'm gonna throw the steps at your head segment things. And Kane, he beats up Cena a little bit. He almost wins the match. Cena does get attacked by Rollins and Orton, and he survives. He's alright. He pulls it out. He wins because Ambrose comes in, and then I think Reigns comes in too. So you know, they save Cena, and then you know, Cena wins as usual. You know, he hits the attitude adjustment onto the stretcher, pushes Kane over. End of story. So Cena's in. All the Money in the Bank participants are in. Altogether, not a bad show. There wasn't a lot of Cesaro in the show, which is not bad. He does. I mean, he's mentioned. You know, Paul Heyman's there. There wasn't a lot of Adam Rose. Thank the Lord. That was a little bit, but it wasn't too much. So all in all, I think Raw was pretty good. I'm gonna wrap this up. So go ahead and just hit that like button, subscribe, and keep it real with the real Super Mario.